What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J Main, back checking in with the people, back with another video. And it's been a minute since I sat in front of this camera and did a traditional video like this. You know, usually I have time for the live streams where I can cram a bunch of topics into one live stream and talk about those with the people. And I like doing that. Y'all been rocking with those, hitting the like button. The views are nice. And y'all been rocking with that super chat button as well. I can't be mad at y'all lacing my pockets so I get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog, two of my favorite things in gaming. And here we go again with another remaster. Naughty Dog is not new to the remastered game, but what gets me pissed off about them is just the efforts that I'm starting to see with the remasters, or just their efforts on the things that they release in between the big releases. Because I'm not one of those people that are going to sit here and say, oh, you know, Naughty Dog hasn't released a game in 3 years. It's a new generation. No, they just gave us Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. Now, while I was mad it didn't come with the multiplayer, Last of Us Part 2 is still a fantastic game through and through. But we gonna get into it, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get into all the details of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, it's officially coming to the PlayStation 5 January 19th of 2024. Not the PC version yet. Now, I do expect this game to come to PC. I just think they wanted to get the PS5 version announced first so that the PlayStation fans, you know what I mean, so they don't get upset. They want to make it seem like they get something special first, and then the PC version comes a little bit down the line. So I expect the PC version no longer than 3 months after this version comes out. I expect the PC version to be here. And they want to make sure they get it right. I think Part 1 was a big eye-opener for them where it launched with a lot of issues. So, of course, you got the game coming out January 19th to the PS5. They also talked about it having tech improvements, new modes, and new behind-the-scenes features that will deepen your understanding of Part 2's creation. Last of Us Part 2 Remaster is going to come with a new mode called No Return. Now, this is a roguelike survival mode designed to let players prove their mettle in randomized encounters and experience The Last of Us Part 2's combat in a fresh, new experience. Going into more details, the mode includes a host of playable characters to choose from, some playable for the first time in the Last of Us franchise, who each come with their own traits to suit different play styles. Players will chart their own course on each run, choosing between various stealth and combat encounters that will pit you against a range of enemies with unique twists that can add new, unexpected factors to any given encounter. Each run will offer a new chance to decide what rewards you get after each encounter, how you spec out your character, and more. Unlock more characters, skins, and more as you progress to use in the mode. Customize your own runs and compete on a global leaderboard as part of a daily run. We're excited to share more about No Return as we get closer to launch. Now, this mode right here, this roguelike survival kind of horde mode, if you will, it sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. It sounds cool. It sounds like it might be fun to play. But this sounds exactly like some shit I was asking for them to have in the multiplayer of whatever was going to be a part of Last of Us Part 2. I remember vividly speaking on them having a horde-style mode, a mode in the Last of Us multiplayer that included the infected. That included moments where you might even have to choose between fighting or protecting yourself against the infected or taking out an enemy. Something like a PvPvE. I remember like vividly asking for something like this, whether it had been a battle royale mode or just a separate mode that they could have included in the multiplayer. This would have been a perfect addition for The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer. Now, we already talked ad nauseum about where they're taking the efforts of Last of Us factions to, but this is the type of stuff that I was asking for. Like, this mode right here is sounding like it's going to be single player only. If you was to add multiplayer to this, add it to some more maps and you know, new abilities or new guns and new things to a multiplayer and attach that to Last of Us Part 2, I would have been a happy camper. I would have been a happy customer. This was it. This was something that I wanted them to add in the multiplayer. But lo and behold, we have it here. Now, I don't think this is going to include co-op, which I think is a missed opportunity. But this sounds like a cool mode. This sounds like something cool to play. And I definitely want to see more about it. They're talking about being able to customize your characters, using different characters that have never been usable in the Last of Us games before. Characters having their own unique traits and play styles. Come on, dog. Come on, that all sounds like multiplayer stuff to me. So it looks like for those people that have played the original Last of Us Part 2 and liked the playable guitar sections, they're going to add a Guitar Hero mode for you in the remastered. So they introduced a new guitar free play mode, which lets you strum the strings across a host of unlockable instruments, use audio effects pedals to modulate your performance, and also play as different characters in several in-game locations to customize the mood and feel of your sets. They're also going to have, parts of the remaster that are designed to offer a dive behind the scenes of, how the game was brought to life. They're also gonna have some playable sequences previously cut from the game. They aren't fully finished levels, but they're early development slides. So these are like alpha, beta versions of levels that you're probably just going to be able to walk through. These are not going to be like playable sections that were cut from the game. These probably won't have no combat. It probably won't have no narrative, portions to it, no cutscenes to them. Just areas you can probably explore that were cut from the original game. Then they also talk about the game having native 4K output, fidelity mode, and then the 1440p to 4K upscaled in the performance mode. Unlock frame rates with the VRR support for people who have those TVs, increased texture resolution, increased level of detail, improved shadow quality, animation sampling rate, and more. They're also going to be including a WLF physical edition, which comes with a steelbook. It's going to have 47 trading cards. I believe these are the same trading cards that were in the game that you got to read about, different characters that they created, a WLF patch, as well as some enamel pins. Now, if you're selling those enamel pins, holla at me. I might need those for my hats. One of the coolest things about this announcement, though, is that if you previously owned the game on PS4 digitally, you'll be able to upgrade to the remaster for $10 at launch and import your saves from the original game to the remaster. I think a game like Ghost of Tsushima, which did its director's cut, which is essentially a remaster, and then they had the DLC included with it. The price for this, it's fine. I think they actually priced it correctly with the $10 upgrade. But I wouldn't have been mad if they had a single player story DLC and maybe charged a little bit more like they did for Ghost of Tsushima. With Ghost of Tsushima, you were able to upgrade to the PS5 version. And then if you wanted the extra DLC, you paid for that separately. That's what I'm saying. I want more effort into the remasters and the games that are coming in between the big games. And I think a story mode DLC would have been fire. Whether we got to play as Tommy, either during the times of Last of Us Part 2 where he's not around, but he's going through some shit, but he's not around. Maybe we got to play as that. I know some people have talked about a portion of the game maybe playing as Joel and Tommy within those 20 years of a gap between what happened at the beginning of Last of Us 1 and then where you pick up as an older Joel, or even Joel and Tommy between those 5 years that of a gap where Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 take place. Like, I just think there were so many other directions they could have went in to improve on an offer like this, rather than a mode like the survival roguelike mode, No Return, that's just going to only get me more upset at the fact that we don't have factions. Back between Uncharted 4 and Last of Us Part 2, we got Lost Legacy, a fantastic standalone game. Now, in between Last of Us Part 2 and whatever's next, we've gotten a remaster, a one-to-one remake, and another remaster with a roguelike survival mode that probably should have been a part of the multiplayer. That ain't it. That ain't it. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered coming January 19, 2024. Will you be picking it up? Will you be doing a $10 upgrade? That's not much. So I can see a lot of people doing that. But will you be copping it? Let me know down in the comment section. Hit that like button. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll catch y'all on my next one.